UK services, Lavazzi and who1.co.uk present the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 540. I'm Adam, and I haven't got a quote. And here's Ben Shoveler.
Amy.
They killed Rory again.
Quote of the whole program. That was my favourite.
Killing Rory. No, that wasn't a quote, but that's what they keep doing. But this is the first time. It's Deborah Melrose.
It's sonicking and entering.
Beg your pardon?
It's sonicking and entering.
Mary Lang.
Defending the planet with Meals on Wheels.
Cool. And Kirby Bartlett's line.
I think you ought to know this is the story of our planet Earth.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't. It's very Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk
It
about that later.
was Marvin, because Marvin was narrating the beginning of both of the episodes, and he says this is the story of our planet Earth. So
yeah.
I
got that. Yeah. Right then. So hang on.
This is not the first time that they killed Rory.
No,
yeah, this is not the first time.
When did they last kill him?
In the story just previous, when he turned into sand.
Oh yeah, sorry, Mary. Well spotted. Just testing. Lillian Robin says, about time. I've been waiting a month. Well, I don't. Sorry, that makes me think of something else.
Sorry.
And then, well, I'm doing my nails while you guys natter. And we can now move on to very briefly as possible, Kirby.
It's our taskmaster.
The Hungry Earth, which begins with some very beautiful Welsh scenery, and some of it CGI'd.
I wonder how far they had to go to film this. It's Wales.
Indeed, the dog snoring again. And some bloke in a high vis and this little boy and this. Actually, what it got me thinking of when he had this chap in his high vis and the little boy with his headphones and the woman hanging it. Does she hand over his lunchbox or something? The lighting and stuff reminded me, and also the way. What was that woman's name again? Ambrose, wasn't it?
Ambrose.
Reminded a bit like Amy and Amy's Choice. It just had that sort of feel to it. This opening sequence.
Very
and
pastoral.
then he goes off to work, and within
Very
the
Welsh.
What? Very Welsh.
I said very pastoral.
Oh,
Sounded very pirate.
War. That's a few weeks' time. Kirby's favourite story, and he's not allowed to slag it off. So, meanwhile, in some facility, which we later discovered is some drilling facility.
They're going to eventually destroy the Earth because of what the Third Doctor has done, and the anti-Brigadier, and this isn't Inferno.
They're drilling down to somewhere, and they've reached 21 kilometres. Woohoo! And they're celebrating, having a bit of a cuddle.
They should have gone 88 kilometres per hour.
Have you seen, Kirby, the
Thank
new
you very
picture
much.
Have you seen the
Miles
new picture
per
that's
hour.
added to my shed?
A new picture added to your shed?
Yeah, have you not seen it on Facebook?
Oh, no.
Well, it's in relation to Kirby saying 88 miles an hour. I've got a picture of Marty McFly and Doc Brown standing by the Back to the Future 3 clock tower, now looking like it's
can see that.
with all my other photos.
I can see that.
It's like,
Shall I take a picture of my signed Doc with Clock Tower Funko Pop signed by Christopher Lloyd? Or just take a picture?
I have seen it.
no, I'm not that bothered.
Yeah.
I've taken a picture of it. I'll post it later. Right then. Yeah. So meanwhile, that Welsh chap with high vis is obviously he's like the night watchman, and conveniently enough, something odd happens, and to cut a long sequence short, he gets sucked
To cut
into
a
the
long
ground.
story short, I lost my mind.
He falls down to the ground.
No, he falls into the ground and gets sucked in, which triggers, Kirby, it triggers the title sequence. And after the title sequence, the Doctor and Amy and Rory arrive, and it's not quite where they're aimed. But you think, are they supposed to be aiming for Rio?
Amy says she's dressed for Rio, but they're both in very heavy clothing.
Yeah,
so
pretty sure Rory's not dressed for Rio unless he doesn't know what
I think it was Rio Ferdinand, not the place Rio.
Yes, of course it was. I should have thought that.
Okay.
I should have clarified that, though, but they didn't. And then the doctor notices that the grass is a funny colour and starts sort of poking at it and picking it. And then they see one of the most pointless things I've seen in Doctor Who for a while. The only reason it being there is so as they can show it's just Amy at the end. Amy and Rory, that doesn't look anything like Amy and Rory walking in the distance on a hill. Well, surely it would have worked better if they've actually got Amy and Rory to do that scene from a long distance.
The actors weren't available, apparently.
Well, you can definitely tell at the end of the second half that it is Amy. But you can't. They don't look the same for this one. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, so he's got sucked into the ground, and they haven't really noticed that much. Rory's got his engagement ring because he hasn't quite sort of asked Amy properly to marry him properly again. And as he goes into the TARDIS, he steps out, and Ambrose is there, thinking he's a policeman. The Doctor and Amy.
Master.
I'm 8 minutes in. I'm doing all right.
Hey, that's pretty good. If you look at the tombstones, that new one is dated 2020. So this used to be in the future. Now it's in the past.
Joy. So the Doctor and Amy sort of break into.
I wonder if they've had to isolate because it's 2020.
And oh yes, and there's this grave, isn't there? Which I can't remember what's wrong with the grave now.
The relative got sucked down through the bottom.
Okay. That sounds a bit rude, to be fair. Tim Drew, hang on, old Tim, hang on. I haven't been doing this for ages. I've nearly forgotten all the protocols. Says, cold blood, has Adam gone fishing? And Lillian Robin says, Amy in short shorts and fishnets for Rio. Now, Tim did mention that in the last show I forgot to edit out the pause between the title sequence and this actually starting, so apologies for anybody who was listening to the show last week. Obviously, it was a minute's silence for Her Majesty the Queen in advance of... Anyway, let's move on. Right, so... the Doctor and Amy break into the facility and poke around, and the Doctor sort of sonics a few gadgets, and then... I'll never remember their names. The two flirting people, you know, obviously having a bit of a what going on. The grandad and the scientist woman, can't remember her name. Anyway, they sort of come. What are you doing here? Not say security, kick him out, but they sort of, as what normally happens with the Doctor, he sort of doesn't immediately get kicked out. He gets blamed for stuff, but anyway. And then something happens to the ground, and the Doctor says, "Don't stand on the ground," or something, or basically don't stand on the soil or something. Anyway, so Grandad starts getting pulled in. Amy goes to rescue him. Grandad gets away from it, but Amy falls down to the ground. I mean, no, Amy falls into the ground. And
no.
Here we go. What do you mean, no? She does. She falls and gets sucked into the ground. So essentially, falls into the ground.
It was established ages ago that she falls down to the ground.
No, that was a 3-year-old establishing that she falls down to the ground. She goes down through the ground. If she was around, she'd agree to come on. She could clarify this for you, but she's been scared off. Yeah, so the Doctor goes, no, that sort of stuff, and Amy goes, and Amy's got explaining to do to Rory.
The Doctor went, Amy, which was my quote.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Faultless.
It was my favourite part of the episode. I do like seeing Amy get sucked down.
Anyway, right, where do we get to? Oh, somebody sent talking about nice-looking ladies. I can't remember who it was. Was it Baird? Graham Baird posted a lovely montage of Nicola Bryant today on Facebook. It was very nice. Anyway, so what's going on? So the next thing that happens after Amy's been, sucked down to the ground, is that they get encased by this dome thing, which the Doctor fires something.
Gee, is this the
catapult.
demons?
Yeah.
I swear, Chibnell doesn't seem to have any original ideas.
No,
Well, I think it's not an original idea.
No, I don't think it was even the original idea of the person who created it in Inferno. I think it's obviously, and it's also been used in Marvel productions and in something.
I was trying to
DC
say something derogative. I was trying to just be mean about Chibs.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the way that was lovely. You go, yeah. I was just trying to be mean about Chibs, like you love him.
Yeah. Oh dear. Right then, stuff coming through on the live feed. Tim was pointing out that you titled this live feed "Cod Blood." Oh, thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
God's sake.
Cod blood.
He's like a remote Kirby, Tim. It's just
well, yeah, just in case Kirby ever needs a week off, we've got a replacement.
Well, it's just a fishing version of the show. Right then, so
I think that Lillian has been pedantic before.
Yes, that was actually Tim being pedantic. She was just clarifying things for me. Anyway, so the Doctor arrives back in the village and has some explaining to do to Rory. Where's Amy? Yeah.
The ground, Rory. I'm so sorry.
Amy, meanwhile, is not dead, obviously, but she's in some sort of stasis thingy. And they decide to the Doctor decides they're going to use the church as some sort of base. And so, yeah, he makes friends with everyone, sets up some useless gadgets, gets Ambrose to sort of get some weapons together and bundle them with an evil face into the van. And the Doctor is able to monitor some shafts that have been created by these unknown people
Master?
as yet. And
Master?
oh, for God's sake. Yes.
This is the 5th time the Doctor has used a church as a refuge. From the demons, the Curse of Fenric, Father's Day, and Amy's Choice.
And Amy's Choice, that was... Oh, you said Amy's Choice.
Well, churches are quite good refuge, and they're quite spooky. Anyway, the little nipper, rather stupidly, decides to go up. He's left his headphones.
Adam.
Pardon?
You're not allowed to say that word anymore.
What, nipper or headphones?
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Headphones.
Sorry, I misheard. Sorry, no.
What?
I don't know what you thought you misheard there. But anyway, he goes off to get his headphones and, of course, becomes sort of, well, he's chased by something. The Doctor, meanwhile, sports some sunglasses.
By Madame Vastra.
Yeah, the Doctor sports some sunglasses, a la the 12th Doctor, which enable him to see some stuff.
Some stuff.
Blooded.
Yeah, and then they capture this Silurian person. Has a very cool mask. I must admit, the mask is cooler. It's really cool until I quite like that until obviously they take it off and it's just a woman with a prosthetic on. But I quite liked the initial mask, which we never saw again every time any Silurians reappeared in Doctor Who. Apart from Pandorica Opens, I think we may have seen him in that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, yeah. So this.
I'm not going to research that. So
she's got a bit of a chip on her shoulder. This Alea, is it? This.
Alea, yeah.
This is the 14th time someone has had a chip on their shoulder in Doctor Who.
Thanks, Ben. Anyway, so yeah, the kid's gone missing, the dad's gone missing, and Ambrose is getting a bit cross and wants them all back, and she's getting very understandably upset. And so the Doctor wants to go down and have a little peruse of the neighbourhood of the Silurians, and takes the TARDIS route and leaves Rory in charge of everybody else. But in the scuffle, forgot to mention this, in the scuffle, Grandad got a tongue in his neck. Most of the time, that would be quite a nice experience. But for,
it's the only you see that, they hold, guns and everything, but they don't ever do the tongue thing anymore.
No, they don't. No. Robert Vance Jr. says hi all, and Lillian Robbins says hi Robert Jr. Vance. That's weird. That's okay. Anyway, let's have a private conversation on our live feed. So they eventually...
They make it a point that it takes an hour to recharge the tongue.
Thank you for that.
But nobody else uses theirs.
I know.
No.
Maybe only the leaders can do it. I don't know. It's a science fiction fantasy TV program.
I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, so the doctor and the bird who's going off with the with the granddad arrive in some caving system. Meanwhile, Amy is strapped to a chair next to the dad bloke who's apparently been sort of dissected alive because he's got a scar on his chest. And that's what awaits her. A strange bloke with a knife. And then, of course, they find that it's actually a rather large civilization under the ground.
Not if they're cutting other intelligent beings open. They're not civilized.
What would you call it then if it's not a civilization? Pardon?
I said we do. We cut other...
I know.
That's very good, Mary.
I'm just being weird.
Very good, Mary.
That's my job.
Anyway, so they recap, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so moving forward a bit.
Oh, I guess I need to change the episode.
Amy sort of survives her dissection because I think an alarm went off or something like that, but she pickpockets the at that stage... nasty doctor, because actually, the Dr. Silurian, he does actually become a bit nicer, rather sort of.
I know, and
that bothers
me. That's one of the things that bothers me about this story.
Yeah, and then the doctor later on says, "Oh, I think I love you." It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which doctor? The Silurian doctor or the Time Lord doctor? I'm getting confused.
No, the 11th Doctor.
No. What I'm saying is that the Silurian Doctor starts off being nasty and scary and wanting to cut people up, and later on in the episode, he's lovely.
And yeah, Mary's got a point.
Mary's got a point. Who's he love? Sorry, who does he love?
The Doctor, the 11th Doctor,
says
he likes the Silurian Doctor.
Do that again, Adam.
What? Who do you love?
You said is it him now? Is it me, babe? I don't know.
Oh, by the way, Everton are 2-0 up. That's women's football, by the way. Right. And, of course, so now the doctor's getting probed, and they're gonna decontaminate him. But he can't do that because he's not a ape person. He's a Time Lord, and it won't do him any good. Anyway, so the Silurian Alea, I think that's what her name is still being kept prisoner, but she's trying to goad her captors into killing her so that could trigger a potential attack. And eventually, she goads Ambrose into attacking her with a taser.
This is my plan of attack. Looks like a nail. No, it's attack.
So anyway, Amy and Dad managed to get away from the surgery place and start poking around and find some dormant Silurian soldiers, and then they find a massive cave full of these Silurian soldiers, and then so Dad is getting iller and iller because he's got the Green Death essentially, but he's got this sort of tongue bite and he's got these sort of veins.
Once again. Gibbs has stolen an idea.
Okay. So, like I say, Ambrose attacks the Alea with this taser. Apparently very susceptible to tasers, these sort of Silurian creatures. And then Amy and Dad try to sort of storm the citadel, but sort of get disarmed very quickly, and eventually, I'm going to cut a long story short, the Doctor persuades them to have some sort of meeting to share the Earth.
Yeah, with
yes,
Marvin's
Kirby.
Paranoid Android. That's the Temple of Peace in Cardiff that's been used so many times.
No, it's not. It's the Silurian citadel. Oh, God's sake. Continuing the conversation between Robert Vance Jr. and Lillian Robin, Robert Vance Jr. says you could interchange the doctors and add UNIT, and then says, loving your sexy legs, Lillian. Hashtag Lillian's legs. I added that a little bit. I didn't actually say it. I forgot the hashtag. It's getting rather weird. Right, back to Doctor Who. Yeah, so Ambrose wants her
Fear
dad to
of
survive and wants her kid and her
unintentional
husband back, so she decides to kill. Anyway, but that's put them in a bit of stew because the doctor and his friends want to prove that the humans are quite peaceful, but yet they've killed. I can't remember, something Lack, isn't it? It's got attack. What's the name of the other Silurian that looks like Neve McIntosh?
Restak.
Restak, yeah. You said something about tax, didn't you? Meanwhile,
yes, but because it was so funny, everybody ignored it.
Was doing a standard quote from the Goon Show, which I've been known to do.
Completely irrelevant. Right then. Anyway, so the big boss of the Silurians sort of walks in, and they have
Marvin,
this eventually. Yes. Oh, for God's sake! Stephen Moore.
Yes.
One of the Everton players has gone down. Anyway, and eventually, like I say, they have this sort of beating where Amy's in charge of the humans and whatever, and she can speak for them, and then we find out that you can travel from the sort of the Silurians up to the surface on these little round pods. I would imagine you bump your head a few times while you're travelling down these tubes. They find the little lad who's sort of in a bit of a, what do you call it? A trance, I suppose you call it. He's attached to some wires, but the lovely doctor now, because he suddenly turned lovely, disconnects the wires and he's reunited with his daddy. And moving forward, so we have the meeting, and they're just about to come to a lovely agreement, and then brilliant timing, the body of Alea is carried in by its murderers, including Ambrose, who was the actual murderer, and
Master?
I'd say manslaughter. I still don't think she actually meant to kill her. I think she sort of meant to hurt her.
Master?
Yes?
It just occurred to me that the doctor should have pointed out, or maybe it's a good thing he didn't, that the Brigadier killed an entire other colony.
I think he did hint, because he said about the other Silurian race that he encountered, that they all died, but he did hint of something nasty happening, didn't he? But he didn't bring himself to mention it was a Brigadier.
Oh, Master.
What?
This is set in 2020, and depending on the time, depending on which unit's time you pick, the other one where the Doctor and the Silurians, I believe, was set in 1980, so 40 years exactly.
Thank you. Okay. Right then. So Retistak, or whatever her name is, decides to mount an attack on the Citadel thing.
Restak.
What?
You're talking about Restak?
Yeah, whatever. And yes, it was. And then they so everybody gets together and sort of try and set up a plan. And eventually somebody presses a button and it leaks a load of stuff into the caves, which means all the Silurians have to go back into hibernation.
It was Marvin who pressed the button.
Who?
Marvin the paranoid android.
Who?
Stephen Moore.
Oh, him. Anyway, so press the button. So everybody goes into back into stasis or whatever because of this thing for a certain amount of years, so they possibly could bring back a story of them later on, which they never do. And everybody else legs it to the TARDIS, and then Amy's crack opens up on the wall and sucks Rory in eventually and kills him. And everybody forgets about Rory.
No.
They killed Rory.
Restak kills Rory. And Rory would not have died if the Doctor hadn't decided to go and stick his hand in to the crack. How do you know he wouldn't be harmed by the crack?
So let me if you don't interrupt, I would get there in the end. Right. So what happens is
Restak kills Rory, wow. And then the crack absorbs him.
Right. Please let me speak. Right. So the Doctor.
Yes, sir.
Yes. The Doctor goes because he's a Time Lord. He doesn't get affected by the energy that makes people disappear from time.
He doesn't.
And he's able to stick his
crack.
Apparently, he's able to stick his hand in Amy's crack and pull out.
Oh my God!
Pull out an artifact with a bit of cloth, and
if that's what Amy wants to do at the weekend. That's up to Amy.
Yeah. Anyway, so like you say, Thingamajig Tack happens to kill Rory, who then gets absorbed by the crack, and Amy then obviously is trying to remember him with a little bit of coaching from the doctor, crap coaching because she forgets, and
coaching.
Yes. And anyway, so while they're saying goodbye to everyone, and the doctor has a stern word with Ambrose, they look up on the hill, and instead of Amy and Rory, obviously it's just Amy. That was a bit pointless. I thought that was anyway. And then the doctor takes his little hanky out of his pocket and sees the top of the TARDIS's sort of police telephone box free for use of public, blah blah blah. Yet he can't decipher that it is actually the TARDIS, so he has to place it up against exactly the same part of it, like a jigsaw puzzle bit, just for theatrical.
For all of us who couldn't figure it out.
Here's a massive clue. Massive warning. Here's a spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
So, so this is it's okay, isn't it? I mean, it was quite nice to see certain actors in it that I quite enjoyed from other British television productions. Nice to see the revamped Silurians. I quite like them. I thought, obviously, I must say that what's her name, Neve McIntosh was good, and obviously she was good. They brought her back to play a different character in it, so she obviously did very, very well.
Her sister, conveniently.
But yeah,
and then she plays another
Madame Vastra or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, so she was very good. I can't fault any of the performances in the production. It's got the usual Chibnell isms and holes and stuff, but I didn't sort of find it hard to watch. I think one episode might have done all right with it. I think they could have compacted the story down. It was a bit sort of two-part. It was a bit, I thought it was okay. Glad I don't have to watch it again. What did you think about it, Debbie?
Same as you. It could have been condensed, definitely, this story. I like the use of the music in this again, and a lot of the time you're watching this, and obviously you've got the different colours with the underground and overground, wombling free, obviously, that sort of thing. I knew that was coming. And I thought the palette of this was brilliant, but I wasn't held by the story, and I think Silurians are fantastic. The costume, the close-up is just fantastic, and the detail in it, and it's something. When we went to the experience and you put the hat on, do you remember? You put the top of the head on.
Yes.
Adam, that was so cool.
Yeah, and Isabella put it on back to front.
I mean, it looked really good though, didn't it? Back to front. We tried to work out if it looked better.
Yeah, we'll be to do that now after COVID. Every member of the public
everybody
without
was
cleaning it straight on top of the head. Yeah.
A quick spray. Yeah, here you go. But
I've heard that before.
We obviously get a lot more idea of what's happening with the crack and things like that, and but I just feel this could have been the half hour, and it would have really banged along and just been a really exciting story.
Sorry.
Were you amused by the phrases Amy's crack and banged along?
Yes.
I thought as much.
I had to lower the tone.
I was really waiting for some "that's what she says" from you, Ben. I was giving you the opportunity, but obviously
I don't need the opportunity.
No, don't you?
No, not anymore.
Oh, okay.
No, not anymore. Don't need that no more. I'm a different person.
Really? So, any more, Deb?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay. Mary?
Well, no.
I knew you'd say that.
No.
Ben?
My review reads as this. I can't remember much about it, but I'm sure you lot enjoyed it. So fantastic.
I'm not sure you enjoyed it that much, to be fair, but there you go.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed it enough to make it worthwhile you wasting your time watching it while I did something else.
I definitely wasted my time.
Kirby?
Well,
no.
You may have noticed excuse me. You may have noticed my reluctance in the week to week wanting to put off watching this.
Who's got a message?
Who's got a message?
Someone did.
No.
I did, but I'm not going to check.
No,
not when you're driving.
Anyway, no. I'm trying to say what I like and don't like about this story. Anyway, I wasn't looking forward to watching this again because my memories of it were not good. And I went back and listened to us last time, and apparently I said then that I didn't like it the first time I watched it, but I liked it when I didn't like it the first year it came out. I liked it better when we reviewed it. I've now gone back to not liking it. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. It looks
You just
very
said you
nice.
don't like it.
It looks
It's
nice.
incredible.
It looks nice.
Right.
But it now that we've had how many series of Chibnell, it is so darn Chibnell that
It's all
no, I don't
soppy
want any more Chibnall.
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid you're going to have to put it up with a bit more. I nearly said fit more. A bit more Chibnall between now and the end of the journey.
Who's in charge of the one that's coming out next month?
Me.
Is it Chibs or is
No,
it? Or
no,
are
it's
they
me.
Chibnall's
putting it-
very last.
Are they giving
thingy.
it over to RTD?
I'm sure it's Chibs in it.
It is, of course it is. It's his very last story.
Yeah.
Well, good riddance. Anyway,
Oh dear.
yeah, I like
This-
it.
on the
I
way
like
out.
bits of this. I wish that they had modernized the Silurians with a third eye, but apparently they decided to take away the third eye because it was, quote, too Davros,
Right.
and I don't
Nah.
want to watch this one ever again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, Thingamajig, whatever your name is.
So you liked it then?
No.
Okay, we've got to that stage of the proceedings when. Got a funny feeling where this is going, but Mary?
Yeah, that's 2 hours of my life I'll never get back.
Yeah, I know.
This story, it's just so derivative. I mean, it's just a retelling of Doctor Who and the Silurians. But I don't know, to the credit of the people who were coming up with the new Who stories, maybe they think that their audience, which they could be right, was mostly new people who don't know the old stories. But I mean, we're watching the ground swallow up people, same as Frontios. We're watching a drill to the center of the earth, like in Inferno. We have that big dome barrier, which is the same as the demons. I mean, it's so derivative that Chibnall does not have an original thought in his head. But they must have gone ahead thinking, like I said, that you've got a whole new audience that doesn't know classic Who. So, so you can tell the stories all over again. They'll never notice. And the only part that I found interesting was the part where I swear Moffat took over the writing, because that's the point where we got the crack in the wall at the end, and the doctor reaching in, and Rory dying. I mean, the whole pace of that, everything about that was so different from what came before that I'll bet anything that Moffat sat down and wrote that, because that feeds his overall arc that he wanted to see. And if that's the only thing I can think of. I think the acting in it was really good. And the lady who was the head of the drilling thing, I really liked her.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, she was very
She actually had a bit of screen. What's the word for it? A rapport with Matt Smith. A bit of chemistry. That's the word I was looking for with Matt Smith.
The actress is a lifelong Doctor Who fan, and she
Yes,
was
she is.
thrilled.
I'm sure she was.
Well, it shows. And it brought to mind, when I think back on various stories, it seems like it's always a female character, usually a mature female character, that seems to warm to the Doctor and work with him, and bring out the better side of humanity. And so I think she's carrying on in that tradition. Remember when, I think it was the 10th Doctor, when they were down in that big hole?
Oh yeah,
I can't remember her name.
The one with the devil.
Yeah, with the devil.
Satan Pit. I don't remember the name of the character. No.
Thank you. But there was another instance of similar. And although there was a brittleness between the woman astronaut and the 10th Doctor, she still had a better relationship with him than a lot of the others. So I'm just seeing this, mature woman character, kind of falling into a pattern here. But anyway, that's beside the point. But yeah, it was basically tedious, thanks to Chibnell.
Yeah.
And I'm.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just said yes. I was just agreeing with you.
Well, and it occurred to me early on when Amy was getting sucked down through the dirt, it would be more, I don't know, doctor-like to go on the adventure, to take a hold of her and to go down in the dirt with her and see what's down there rather than hold back and losing her.
So many euphemisms that I'm glad will not happen again after this particular.
I really had to mute my microphone.
Hey, Mary.
Yes.
9 years ago, I do need to point this out. 9 years ago, you had not seen any of those stories that this is derivative of. Matthew was pointing it out because he was on then, and you were going, "Oh, I've got to go back and watch those."
Yeah, well, and now I have.
Yes.
The Doctor going down in the dirt. Oh, sir.
I wanted the Doctor to jump down in the hole with Amy, and go with her. See what's what.
Oh, God.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Yes.
Are we done with Chibnell?
Are we done with euphemisms? No, of course we're not. All right, then. Oh, yes, hang on. I think Ben has a theme tune.
Oh, dear.
He asks you what you think, and it normally goes well, but as he's an American, he'd say, well, so here's what you think. In content it doesn't lack. It's Kirby, Bartlett, Sloan, and his pedantic feedback.
Notice my bell is tuned perfectly to that bit of feedback.
I thought you couldn't find the bell.
It's here.
Ding.
Sorry.
Okay, so what have we got here? We have 6 comments. Neil James says, "The Hungry Earth, Cold Blood." Are these in the? Oh, these are in the wrong order. Let me change the order.
Oh dear.
3 previous comments. Okay. First comment is bumping this up, trying to get feedback from me. Robert Wentz Jr. The 2-part stories were okay. I like the whole Rory wipeout time part where Amy's big crack ate Rory up, and Amy's mind not strong enough to remember. Not like a Time Lord who can remember different strands of time. Mm-hmm. Also, when Amy and the Doctor go back to that spot on the hill where she was waving at herself, and Rory's gone, and it's just Amy, it's kind of sad. Also, when Amy finds the ring, she thinks it... The ring, my precious...
Oh, what a surprise. I knew you wouldn't resist that one.
She thinks it's from the Doctor, not Rory. Not in this story. That's the next story, isn't it? Yeah. It was the best of 2-part stories. Be prepared for Roman times in the future. Also, the whole going into a sleeping state was interesting. My rating, 3.5 out of 5. He posts a picture of Amy's crack. Neil James says The Hungry Earth, Cold Blood. There's some lovely location work in this 2-parter, and the mining complex has echoes of Season 7's Inferno. Did it now? Also, the way people are sucked underground is also a nice callback to Frontios. Did it now? Characters are good, makeup is beautiful, and Rory's death is handled well. It just gets a bit boring, and I always lose interest. 3 stars out of 5. So, is this Ian? Did he send you something?
I had a message off him when we originally scheduled to do this show that his computer was broken.
Yeah, he says. So, should I read this?
Has he sent it in? I don't know. I haven't.
Okay, yeah,
no,
he
don't read it yet.
No,
shh. Don't read it yet because I'm on page 2 of emails at the moment, so I can't see what I've got on page 1. So I be on standby to read that in case I haven't got any. I may have.
You don't have it.
I might have it. Why? How do you know I haven't got it?
Because he says my computer is broken and my mobile phone will only let me attach photos, not audio.
Okay, so you've got to do it in your best Ian Kirk then.
Well, Right, whatever.
Which is Billy Kirkbright, but more southern.
Oh, no. One of you will kill me. The Hungry Earth and Cold
One
Blood.
of you will kill me.
By Chris Chibnell. Scientists bored too deep and awaken a sleeping menace. You know the drill. Dear. Amy disappears legs first. Well. The Silurians get put back to sleep for 1,000 years, lucky not to get killed this time. Oh my, they killed Rory. I give this scary tale a 3 on a scale of 1 to 3 scales. And then he also says, I see no live stream here. Is it just my mobile phone being stupid?
What?
Yeah.
He said that. Also, apparently there was an update. Let me update. Where is it? Come on.
Cat smell.
This is what I needed that piece of music for, Debbie.
Oh, I see.
I don't. Oh, here. I don't see. I got a ding that he updated it. That Robert Wentz said something, but I can't find it. Oh, like South Park Skinny. There it is. We knew that.
Oh.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my God! They killed Rory.
They killed Rory, don't they? Oh no, that's Shoot Horses, isn't it? Sorry.
That's it.
That's it. All right, thank you, Gabby. That's grand. Now I can get myself a bit of composure. I don't know why Mr. Andy Nunny has sent me 2 feedbacks of the same thing 2 days running. But I'm not going to play the earlier one. I'm going to play the second one, the one he sent on the 26th.
Well, good morning, 20 megabytes Andy Nunny. It's Friday morning, it's 9:10. I'm sitting here in my TARDIS dressing gown. I won't send pictures, but you've seen it all anyway. I've just done the ironings. We're off on holiday the last few bits, and Brandon, I hope the before and after pictures were okay for you.
What?
And I watched Cold Earth. Cold Blood. No, I didn't watch Cold Earth. I watched Cold Blood, didn't I? I got it wrong last time. Of course, I was wrong last time. The fact that it wasn't mentioned, the title wasn't mentioned, just the title of the next episode was mentioned. But that's got to be the first time the title of the next episode has been mentioned during the course of Doctor Who. There we go. Anyway, in a way, this wasn't as good as the first part, because I think we all knew what was going to happen. It's fairly obvious Arthur was going to get killed. It's a question of who was going to do it. I actually couldn't remember who did it, and then it came to me in the end. No. I wondered what Tony might do as revenge for being infected, but you can understand why Ambrose did it. You know, her husband's been taken, her son's been taken, her father's dying. You know, it's what any parent would do. You know, they're desperate. They're after anything. The Silurians having the sort of the two factions even didn't quite hit the right though.
You shouted at me.
Same as what I had before when we had Doctor in the Silurians. You had the scientific corps and you had the military corps. This time, though, the scientific corps actually did come out because he could see what really needed to happen. You know, the trouble is he's really kicking a can down the road, aren't they? By setting you all back 1,000 years, and 1,000 years time, who knows what would happen? Of course, that's assuming the planet would still be there in 1,000 years. We haven't blown ourselves to smithereens or something. But yeah, the military formulaic, sort of so only one thing, got to destroy everyone. I think they realise there's a lot of them there, but it's like before in the Silurians, they were never going to win there, are they? Because they come out and try and infect people, and they get blown to smithereens, wouldn't they? Because there are some seriously crazy people on our planet, as we know. They wouldn't do it.
In the Silurians as well.
The young lad, Elliot.
Oh, that's
I thought he might have come up a bit more. He did some bits in the first episode, but this one I thought, maybe he's going to come up with some sort of whiz-bang plan for doing this. So it's slightly disappointing in a way that he didn't. At the end, with Tony and I can't remember her name staying behind, you can understand why. I mean, he's got to stay behind because otherwise he's dead, and she's staying behind because clearly they're a couple. Well, they're going to be a couple, aren't they? And also, it's an opportunity. It's something she thought about weighing a lot, and now she's got a chance to do it and study it and be there. And, to be honest, wouldn't you take that opportunity? I think you would. But of course, the best thing about this story is the fact that it brings back the crack. The Doctor finds a piece, and he finds a piece of TARDIS. Of course, Amy's forgotten Rory, not for long, as we know. And why the hell couldn't Chibnell have written stuff like this in the last couple of series?
What?
I mean, this, the way everything links together, the way everything works, there are loose ends, but you can see how they're going to be tied up. Perhaps this is why he got the gig. But it's such a shame that it could have been so much better had he done this, because it was good. There's the Doctor. What is going on? He's the only one who doesn't know. Everybody else knows what's happening. Prisoner Zero knows what's happening. He's the only one who standalone story. Oh, we've already started again. And hopefully nothing's been lost. And we'll just see how it goes. So I'm off on holiday now. It's time down to sunny Dorset. So be seeing you.
Yes, I'm sorry. I
haven't finished because there were 12 seconds missing in the middle, and that was just me wondering what on earth was going on. So I will actually edit those 12 seconds out. And I'll still be seeing you. Bye now.
I think you did somehow. Sorry, I didn't play the first half of that.
Well, you have to.
I'm not playing it now because
I think we got the gist.
Yeah.
The funny thing is about him doing two separate feedbacks is he knows from the beginning if we're doing two episodes or one.
It's been clarified.
I think we've established essentially to paraphrase that he liked it.
But also, I think we need to remind everybody that we do now only do double episodes as a single review.
Yeah.
And if you check
this, didn't we, Ben?
Yes, and if you check the seal, it actually now says CR3. So it's law.
Right, Mrs. Melrose has some blurb to dictate.
I do.
Here comes Debbie Melrose.
Oh, God.
This one, oh dear. Is that my theme? Here comes Debbie Melrose. Oh, God.
No, I'm saying oh, God, because I haven't got anything from Miss Alan T. Butcher, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Was that? You haven't got anything from Alan T. Butcher?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, well,
read this one then, shall I?
That speeds up the episode by 10 minutes.
This one, oh dear, written by Chibnell. Oh dear, written by Chibnell, and at least the producer was Moffat. This is set in the year 2020s. Why weren't they wearing masks? Naughty, naughty. That poor drilling worker, the Earth ate him. Well, that wasn't expected. The Earth seems to be fighting back. They are drilling down as far as they can beneath the Earth's crust. Hasn't that been done with disastrous results? See Inferno, starring John Pertwee.
Why has no one else mentioned that?
No, I wonder. This takes place in a small Welsh mining village. They didn't have to go far from Cardiff for this one, then. The Doctor notices bluegrass growing. Does this make Wales to be bluegrass country? Oh, nice. Remember, don't diss the Sonic. Naughty Constable Amy, she's a pickpocket now. Ambrose is a right problem. We knew from the start she was trouble. Never remove a child from their mother unless you want trouble. Those travel discs are a bit small for the size of the hole they travel through. Oh no, they killed Rory again. He's definitely going to have to get used to that. Doctor, you can't put your hand in there. Oh, no, he did. He put his hand in Amy's crack. Is that a piece of the TARDIS inside Amy's crack? So Amy's crack is bigger on the inside.
Hey.
Well, I don't believe it. Chibnell didn't manage to wreck this one. Why couldn't his run as head honcho have been as good as this? I reckon Moffat saved it by reeling him in, saving it from being ruined. Next time, Vincent and the Doctor, written by Richard Curtis, writer of Four Weddings, Love Actually, The Boat That Rocked, and many other brilliant stories. Stay safe and well, everybody. Linda and Terry Miles.
Marvellous, that is. It's marvellous. Anyway, I've got...
You said you didn't have any feedback from Alan T. Butcher.
I haven't got to that bit yet.
Well, he sent it direct to me this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Alan.
Really?
Okay.
Hang on, I'm not ready yet, young shoveler.
This is Alan T. Butcher's
Hang on,
review.
well, we've not had Alan T. Butcher yet. We've got some other bits before him.
No, it's normally me next.
Yeah, but no, it isn't. Alan's is the last feedback we do. I've got another bit here.
Oh, you didn't mention that. Sorry, I should step back.
He's trying to.
Okay, right.
Hello, 20 Megabyte Podcast. This is Ian Kirk. Farewell then, Matt Smith. You were my favourite Doctor. Like David Tennant and the composer Vivaldi, you are doing the 4 seasons. Matt will have done series 5, 6, 7A, 7B, the 50th anniversary, and Christmas 2013. During the Name of the Doctor seance scene, when I heard Vivaldi's The 4 Seasons, I took it as a hint that either Smith or Moffat were leaving soon. At least Jenna Louise is not leaving, so it is not genocide. The Hungry Earth, Cold Blood by Chris Chibnell. The title, The Hungry Earth, seems to have a double meaning. The ground is swallowing up people, and also the leader of the underground city, Eldane, suggests that Silurian technology could solve the planet's problems. Rory and Amy see their future selves waving at them. This seems to be to show at the end of the story that Rory never existed and that time can be rewritten. Later in the series there is no mention of Rory or Amy going back to Wales to wave at themselves. It seems like Homo reptilia will become part of Earth's civilization from about the year 3000, but we never see them in stories set in the future. The Doctor pulls a pair of binoculars and a catapult from his pocket. This is part of a running gag from the classic series that the Doctor can often produce what is needed from his pocket. I wonder if that is where they got the handcuffs and chain they use on Alea. It seems odd that the drilling project or the church would happen to have them. The TARDIS is pulled down to the underground city, but there is nobody there ready to capture it. The Doctor has 15 minutes to save the Silurian city. In the 11th hour, he only had 20 minutes to save the world. In the Flash Gordon film, Flash only had 14 minutes. Pen y Fan, on the side of the Meals on Wheels van, is the name of a Welsh mountain. Meals on Wheels is a service that supplies hot food to pensioners, that is, senior citizens. Bye for now.
There we go. That was Ian Kirk from the 2nd of June 2013.
Ah, okay, I was wondering.
That's why there were some irrelevant things in regards to the departure of Matt Smith.
Ah.
Go on then, Ben.
Okay, this is obviously the feedback of our great friend and contributor, Alan T. Butcher. These episodes are, of course, a closely studied exposition of how Labour are great and the Conservatives are rubbish, and how the bad things in this episode would never have happened if Labour were in power. It should also be noted that the Conservatives are rubbish and the Labour Party are really great. We also learn how great the Labour Party are and how rubbish the Conservatives are. All in all, the Labour Party are great and the Conservatives, they're rubbish. Next up, the Labour Party get better and the Conservatives get worse. Those are my thoughts. Labour Councillor Alan T. Butcher.
You forgot, as some might say, but never mind.
Well, yeah.
It's a science fiction.
Sorry, some might say the Conservatives are rubbish and the Labour Party are great. Edit that in.
Okay. All right then. So, where did we get up to? There was a bit of flirting.
Master.
Hang on, what?
Another thing that Chibs used for the derivative.
Yes.
Is Day of the Daleks, where the Third Doctor and Joe see themselves.
Yes, I know. We established this earlier on.
We did.
We did. That was in and around the time of the info. Anyway, can we move on back to the live feed? I was just thought I'd leave Lillian and Robert this is Robert Vance Jr. in a sort of digital room together, so they could have carry on their flirting without me announcing it all. But now I'm going to go back to it anyway. Where did he say about the legs and stuff? Oh, he's sexy. Here we go then. Robert Vance Jr. says, is she related to the one in the 1800 hanged, or what that is? And then Graham Sheridan. My God! I should play it. Have I got any fanfare music for Graham Sheridan? That is, that's really thrown me sideways. I wish I'd seen that in advance.
Yeah.
Podcasting royalty. Graham Sheridan said, yes, Mary, it felt like a retelling of several different things there. Terry Miles says, every time I saw Mira Sile, thanks for giving us her name, because I really couldn't remember it, I couldn't stop thinking of her catchphrase from Goodness Gracious Me, that being, but how big is his gadanga? Pronounced Gardanga. I just said that. And Robert Vance Jr. Oh, good Lord. Captain Kangaroo. And then Lillian Robinson said, OK, nails done purple this week. Robert Vance Jr. says, use that song as its opening and ending of the show.
Yes,
and
we
then,
know.
Cool, looking forward to seeing it, Lillian. Now, if we just started with that particular statement. And then Lillian Romy said, tomorrow morning's picks, Robert. Oh, my God. Moving on. I think it's about time Ben got some paperwork out and we had some fun. Well, I'd use the word. I use the word fun in its broadest possible context.
Has someone done a different quiz?
I've got a theme tune for you if you've lost it, Ben.
And now, live from the Indie Rock Disco Radio Studio 1, the game show nobody's talking about. This is How Aged Are They?
How aged are they? How aged are they? How aged are they? That's what the game's about.
No, it's not.
How aged are they?
No.
How aged are
No
they?
one cares.
How aged are they? Get ready to find out.
And here's your host, Ben Sutherland.
Hello, everyone. I've got a cold and I'm not feeling very well. So we've got a quiz. It's about birthdays, people who had birthdays who've worked on Doctor Who. We've got contestants. Let's meet the contestants. Mary loves warm. Adam prefers touching warm. Debbie enjoys reaching out, and Kirby likes touching me and touching you. They're the contestants.
Ben.
Let's play. Round one. I mean, the only thing is, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
The last time we were meant to record, which is about a month ago, we ended up not doing it, and you put it on the message thingy, but because I never look at it, I didn't realise until after I'd written this, and so I thought, bugger doing a new one, might as well use the words I've already got. So these are all people who had birthdays about a month ago. So. And also, the other thing is, I can't find any other files on my computer that I call what I call this, which is heart. So I'm not sure if we've done this or not. So if we have, just play along and we'll just pretend that we haven't. Because, hey, I mean, at the end of the day, it's only going to be completely repetitive for anyone who's like binge listening to the podcasts because they'd have only heard this about an hour and a half ago. But hey, let's do it again anyway.
Some fool, you mean?
Number one is James Kimberly Corden. He was Craig Owens in Closing Time and as Craig in The Lodger. He was born on the 22nd of August. But how aged is Craig? No, it's James Corden. It's Craig Jordan. It's James Corden. It's Kimberly J. How old is Kimberly James, Adam?
Do you mean James Corden?
Yeah, whatever.
Hey?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Sorry, yeah. 43.
43 says Adam. Debbie, James Corden. How aged are they?
Gonna go with my age, 44.
That seems like a very good idea. Kirby, how old is James Corden, are they?
I'll go with 45.
And Mary, how aged is James Corden?
40.
At this point, I've just got to break off because I was doing some work up in London in my new job this week, and I was working with a bunch of people from Portsmouth, lovely lads, and there's 5 of them, and one of them was a really big unit of a bloke, big hairy bloke, tattoos all over him, really, really nice geezer, and his name was Rob. No, Dave. I can't bloody remember. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the funniest thing was about him, though, I looked at him for the first 3 days, and I was thinking, who does he remind me of? And at that one moment, he just went... and laughed exactly like James Corden. It was so funny. I just placed him there exactly. Anyway, round 2 is Philip Collinson. Philip Collinson is a producer, an executive producer on the TV series, not the TV season, Doctor Who. He was born on the 26th of August, but how aged are they? Mary.
58.
Kirby.
62.
Debbie.
60.
Adam.
I don't think it's as old as that. 52.
And finally, round 3 is Tracy Ann Oberman. She was Ivana Hartman in Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. She was born on the 25th of August, but how aged are they? Kirby.
40.
Adam.
50.
Debbie. Oh, no, hold on. It's got to be Mary. Sorry. Mary.
45.
And Debbie.
55.
Good stuff, everyone. That's round one complete. Just as the music is about to end, so we'll say thank you very much for watching, listening, and taking part. We'll be back with round two after Adam has said some words like this.
Lillian's 44. Well, she says I'm 44. But no, it's not talking about me. And she said I'm 44, which means she's 44. Just saying. That's basically what she said on the live feed. FantasyCon news.
I'm confused.
I'm 44. Who's 44?
Lillian.
Yay, Lillian!
FantasyCon news. Obviously, things are starting to get a bit ramped up now because we are getting closer. We've actually had free adverts in the Isle of Wight County Press and somewhere else. I'm sure there was somewhere else. Anyway, some free publicity, which is all very good. Sadly, the County Press being the County Press, they published a photograph that included, well, a montage actually, that included Kai Owens, who cancelled months ago.
Oh.
But we have a sadly announcement that Jessica Martin today let me know that she will not be able to come because she decided she's too busy and she's not doing any more conventions this year because she's in a panto. And I did say this at the time when she said she was in this panto. I said, "Sure, you're going to be able to do it?" She said, "Yeah. No, she can't do it because she's going to be doing a panto. She is not coming." Sadly,
I was looking forward to sitting with her at the table.
She was killing several birds with one stone with a variety of talents. But what we do have is Clive Mantle, Craig Fairbrass, Carla Mendonça, Gareth David Lloyd, Joseph Milson, Simon Fisher-Becker, who wasn't announced last time we recorded. He's coming down a day early to potentially do a special thing on the Friday with somebody. We haven't decided what yet. And Clem So, of course, I've mentioned Clem So on the show on several occasions. He's probably Britain's most prolific supporting talent. And he's very easy to spot in the background of all sorts of franchises and stuff like that. If you go on this IMBD, he's got a massive list of stuff he's been in, and sometimes when you go and watch his films, you can play Spot Clem, and he's got a lot to talk about in regards to all sorts of Marvel films that he's been in, and DC and Doctor Who and lots of things. So really excited to hear what he's got to say for himself. We also have Aaron Eisted, who not only is going to be doing some magic, he's also going to be selling some of his dad's Star Trek stuff. We've got White VR, who that's Dan Rowlings in his VR experience. It'll be really, really good. Andrew Lorden, who will teach everybody, not necessarily me, how to fight like a Jedi. We've got board gaming. Hopefully Karen Longhurst will be along to support us in that particular area. Retro gaming, which basically is mix retro game setup. Cosplay competition. We can't not have a cosplay competition because that's basically why we're doing the event. A charity auction for Wessex Cancer Trust. If we can get
Isla's
some
been
stuff
planning her cosplay for months.
The Lego Zone, which is basically a huge amount of Lego we've got in our attic for people to play with, which is also sponsored by...
That was fun last time. That was really good fun having that table last time.
It's sponsored by Minifigure Montage, rather appropriately. Kids Zone, which is Seaside Surprise, who will be doing enabling children to do sand art, which I think is going to be really good fun for them. Obviously, we've got stage entertainment, which is basically panels.
I know what Isla's going to be doing all day.
Paul Wilson will be doing the stage hosting, so that's nice to say. He didn't talk about money or anything, so that's always very nice when they don't talk about money.
Who's doing the stage hosting?
Paul Wilson.
Okay. Good luck, Paul.
I did ask you first, though, Ben.
I know. I was just making that point.
I only asked him. Ben, I only asked him because he filled in for you when you had to disappear, didn't you?
I had to babysit.
So I thought it'd be appropriate to have somebody who's done it already.
I am sorry I can't do it.
It's not good enough.
It is my big brother's 50th birthday.
Not good enough.
I think.
No,
sorry. Sorry, mate. Sorry. Big Brother takes preference.
We've got refreshments supplied by All About Catering, my dear friend David Rogers, who's a particularly good chef, who is actually orchestrating the refreshments that is in-house at Cowshill Haven. But I think that they're not very far away from Comic Coffee anyway. It's literally 2 minutes walk if you wanted to go there. We've got Cineworld Fun and Games. They're very good at having like tombola style fate games just for fun, and also they're raising money for children.
Still going?
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
they're raising
there's a
money.
Cineworld in Aldershot,
And there's a Cineworld in Newport on the Isle of Wight, actually. Deb,
I thought they were going bankrupt, that's all.
No, they've. I spoke to Macy, who's the boss at Cineworld. She says that they've been given a handout, probably by the film industry, because film needs cinema. Anyway, so they're providing us with a sort of like tombola sort of fate style fun. There's going to be a TARDIS there, surprise, surprise. Roy has his own TARDIS, which has actually been used.
Good old Roy.
He's actually been used on screen with Nicola Bryant and Colin Baker. There is a picture of his TARDIS and Colin Baker in costume. So it is actually, I don't know what the production was, but it has been
in uniform.
Yeah.
On his way to a shift at McDonald's or something.
Chitty Bang Bang is attending.
Pardon?
Chitty Bang Bang is it? We've got 3D printing. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. So that's just part of it.
It's going to be wicked. It's going to be wicked.
It's going to be good. Yes,
well,
it's going to be fun, and it's looking forward to it. And just hope that nobody else calls off.
I mean, the only thing I'd say is being taught to fight like a Jedi might sound good, but considering they're all being wiped out, I'm not
the Jedi.
sure.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Not sure that's maybe you want to be able to fight like the Empire.
Maybe so, but that's shall I go on? Should we do Doctor Who news after your results part?
Yeah,
Ben?
I've got them all ready. I'm ready to go whenever you are.
I'll get Doctor Who news ready, so as you can now partake in telling everybody I've won. Carry on.
Okay. Have you?
I don't know.
Let's find out. All right, round 2 of this garbage. Let's find out what's happened. Round 1, we said some people gave birthdays, people guessed. Right, what happened? Round 1 was James Corden. Adam said 43, Debbie said 44, Kirby said 45, and Mary said 40. James Corden is actually 44 years old, which means Adam got an exact answer.
What? Get in!
I thought I got the right answer. I said 44 because I'm 44.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought she said that too.
Yeah, I thought it was Debbie.
That's what I just said. You lot just thought I said Adam. Debbie got 0 points because she got an exact answer, as I just said. Bloody, listen back. We've got VAR. It's fine. I'll be proved right. Adam got 1 point because he said 43.
I'll take 1 point. I like that.
Kirby got 1 point because he said 45, and Mary got 4 points because she said 40. I've just remembered that's not how you do the reveal.
Somebody can skip back on the live feed and find out what was actually said. Anyway, carry on.
Round 2 was Philip Collinson. He was born the 26th of August. Adam said he was 50. Hold on, I'm doing it all wrong again. Kirby said he was 62. Oh, Kirby. Debbie said he was 60. Mary said he was 58. And Adam said he was 52 years old. And this is where I play this for Adam.
Hey! I missed my bell. I'm pleased with that.
Because he got an exact answer, so he gets no points.
Wait, who got the exact?
Me!
Adam.
Okay.
Debbie got 3 points, Kirby got 4 points, Mary got 2 points. And finally, it was Tracy Oberman, 25th of August. But how aged are they? Kirby said 40. Mary said 45, so they get 16 points and 11 points respectively. I mean, if you want to try, that would be lovely. In second place...
I couldn't remember her. So.
Really? Because, Tracy Ann Oberman at 40. You are on her Christmas card list.
How can you remember her?
Right at the top. Adam said she was 50, so he gets 6 points. And Debbie said she was 55, so he gets 1 point, because Tracy Ann Oberman is actually 56 years old. Happy birthday to her.
She's my age.
A month ago, which means that this week Kirby is in 4th place with a whopping 27. Mary, not too far behind, but far enough away for comfort, with 17. And in 2nd place with quite good 9 points is Debbie, which means the winner this week with a tiddly widdly peensy weensy 7 points is Adam.
Yes, get in! About blooming time. I must stay awake more often.
Thank you very much for watching this.
my name already. Don't listen to you.
Don't forget to check out the Twitter feed and the new TV programme on UK TV Gold as from next week. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Good night. Bye.
Doesn't it make a difference when you're wide awake doing a show? That's fantastic. I'm rather pleased with that. I might have to award myself a glass of something I shouldn't really drink.
Piss? Oh, no, you shouldn't say that. My apologies. Sometimes my mouth runs away with me.
Right, Doctor Who news. Now, unfortunately, there isn't any, apart from stuff I heard in regards to the anniversary episode, which is going to be next month.
The poster's been released, isn't it?
Yeah, but I can't find it on the BBC Doctor Who website.
Well, it's all right, because this is audio, so all you've got to do is pretend you found it, because no one can actually see you haven't. So just go to... look at that, isn't it great? It says Doctor Who on BBC sometime next month.
Yes, Kirby.
The 60th anniversary is next year, so how could the anniversary be?
Not the the anniversary, the BBC centenary episode.
Okay.
God's sake.
Dear,
they gave the title of the episode. I think it's something like something of the Doctor.
It's the power of the Doctor.
The power of the Doctor.
The power of the Doctor.
And the fact that it's going to be in October. I got the date. I wrote it in my diary. In fact, it's a Sunday.
It's October. Yeah, it's October.
You would have thought they put it on a Saturday because. Typical. It's supposed to be.
Put it on
it's
after
Chibs being Chibs again.
Oh no, it is on a Saturday. Apparently, according to it says the 15th. That can't be right. I think I've got that date wrong. I'm sure it was on a Sunday. Anybody got the actual date of?
No.
Oh, thanks.
No. So what's going to happen in it is Jodie Whittaker's going to turn into David Tennant, and then
she isn't.
To Catherine Tate.
I don't
think Catherine Tate is going to transform into Chris Chibnell.
That's a thing.
And then Chris Chibnell is going to be the new Doctor. Because the whole story about
I'm having nightmares just for the mere suggestion.
That's all lies. He's not actually taking over. And then Stephen Moffat's going to play Davros.
I can't find a date, so I don't know where you're
let me find it, Kirby, because I know what I'm doing here. I've been doing this podcast for many years.
It's October the...
Yeah?
I told you.
Okay. I'm finding out as we speak, Kirby, and
I'm also trying to find out.
What?
I'm also looking. I can't find it.
Oh, dear.
We need the incidental music again.
Dude,
hold on, I've got something. No, I'm finding out.
Just lots of incidental.
I don't think that was the one, was it? Right. Doesn't actually say. I'm sure I had the date, so I wrote it in the... Oh, dear me.
I've got every sound effect playing.
This just says this October. It doesn't actually say that. I wrote the date down.
This is October.
Maybe they've decided to change. Maybe they initially announced it for the 24th, 1st of October, and then decided it probably better go out on a Saturday rather than a Sunday because it's a big episode. But never mind, it's coming up.
So you
less
don't
than
have
a month
a date.
to go. Less than a month to go. And quite excited to see the departure of Jodie Whittaker.
So, did you find a date or not?
No, I didn't find a date.
He's married, Kirby. He doesn't need to find a date.
Yeah.
As unbelievable as it seems, he is married.
Thank you very much. Anyway, whowon.co.uk. Christmas is coming. It's time to talk about the stuff that our sponsors sell. Right then. So, coming soon in products are Daily Doctor, which is a 365 and a quarter universal meditations on life and how to live it book. We've got Death in Venice, which is a Torchwood story, which doesn't count because John Barrowman's not in it. We've got The Diary of River Song, which is Mary, Ben wants that for Christmas. So if you want to make a note of that, I know you're sort of up on Big Finish. Diary of River Song 10, Ben wants that for Kimbo. Did you take your hands off of your ears, because Ben at all? Didn't hear that, did you?
What are you talking about? Eh?
Good. Okay, next one is Fifth Doctor 42, which is a drama of some variety. Oh, I can have a look at a picture of that because that looks like The Master.
They haven't said when the
Anthony
Doctor Who
Ainley
episode is.
Ooh.
They haven't given a date for the new episode yet. They've just said October and released the artwork.
Okay, thank you for that, Ben.
It'll
But
be
this
October pretty soon.
they must have a voice actor doing Anthony Ainley's version of the Master for that, because he appears to be in it. Gallifrey, War Room 1, Master 2, Nemesis Express.
I thought you were going to say Master
that's
2
featuring
Nemesis Nil then. I was thinking, what, is that from the Premier League? Or
That's
is that
featuring my acquaintance, brother of Julia Roberts. Eric, whatever his name is. New Adventures of Bernice
Big mate.
7, Ninth Doctor Adventures into the Stars. I'd love to listen to one of these Ninth Doctor Adventures. Are any out yet, Mary, the Ninth Doctor Adventures on Big Finish?
Yeah, there's 2 box sets out already, and then this is the 3rd.
So have you heard any of them yet?
Yes, I've heard the first 2 box sets, and they really are fun.
And how is old Eccles Cakes in it?
Eccleston is wonderful in it.
Excellent.
I mean, it just takes me right back to, they've got the music that is from that time. And the stories are uneven. Some are wonderful and some are like, okay, but.
Typical Doctor Who then.
But he's great, yeah. I haven't heard the 3rd box set yet, though, the Return to Earth set. I haven't heard that.
Cool. I found all my Big Finish stuff that got sent to us ages ago. And I've put them all in a folder on one of my hard drives. So it doesn't include any of the updates. It's just like, how long ago? It must be about 10 years ago we got sent all that stuff. And it's still a mountain of stuff to listen to. But I do have it. So I'm so pleased that I found it and I have it to listen to. Anybody else? Have you all still got your, not you, Ben, obviously you didn't get sent them, but everybody got sent those Big Finish stories?
Yes.
Have you still got them?
Yes.
Listened? You have?
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. It's something to dabble into when I get time. Time. Lavazi.co.uk sell woolly garments made out of not real wool, but that stuff that's like wool, including Doctor Who things like scarves and the 7th Doctor jumper, and they also have hankies, paisley hankies and gloves and stuff, and out-of-date diaries that say 2021 on them. Peruse their website, because you also get Star Trek merchandise and standard fashion and stuff like that. But they do have a good like a mailing service, and they can send out special offers and money off their products, and you can also find a blog which incorporates people sending in fan fiction, and you can send in your own fan fiction. So it's a great website for Doctor Who fans. Lavazi.co.uk. So I do believe I haven't missed anything, which means we can move on. I'm just going to check our email facility, which is where if you want to send emails, it would be quite nice if you could, to I've forgotten our email address. Oh yes, 20mb.feedback@gmail.com. That's a good place to send it. If not, you can send them directly to me, or just comment on Kirby's Facebook feed. But if you're not on Facebook, you can't really do that, can you? Right, well, then, Ben.
They should be on Facebook, which you can join.
Yeah. Right then, Ben. It's time to move on to. Have we got a theme tune for the next segment of the show, in which we talk about what we watched this week?
Well, only for Mary.
Okay. Well, we'll save that from later. And,
I'll tell you what. We'll play that when Mary does her bit.
Yes, that's fine. I can live with that. That's good. But as I've now got to try and remember what I've watched over the last month,
I had the same problem.
I'm going to move over to Debbie.
Me first? Oh,
yes.
God. What haven't I been watching? Oh,
That's not what the question was. It's what you have been watching.
Bake Off, obviously.
Oh, don't tell me, Lola. We've only watched part of episode 1. Do not spoil
I'm not going to do spoilers about Bake Off.
Yes, and I haven't started
cut off. I don't know what you said.
Bake Off.
Oh, Bake Off. Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't started it yet. My daughter and I are going to be watching it together, so yes, no spoilers.
Yes.
And then we went for some more Abandoned Engineering, because that is just brilliant, always watching that. And what else have I watched? Oh, I watched Thing from Another World again. I love that film. That cropped back up on BBC iPlayer. Absolutely love that. I seem to.
Which version?
Well, the original, the black and white, proper original version.
The one with James Arness as the big carrot, yes.
And I just absolutely love it. When just just such B movie, but
Yes,
absolutely.
it is good.
Shut the door whenever anybody's trying to get in. It's just brilliant.
The remake is brilliant too, but I could only watch it once because it was so.
So
so graphic.
I suppose so. Yeah, I do prefer my horror to be more of the suggestive variety, I must admit. Also I've been doing listening to a lot of podcasts again. Doctor Who. I've been delving into a few of the new Star Wars. Obviously we got Andor came out, and been watching that. Also Rings of Power. Absolutely enjoying.
Yay! Yes.
Absolutely enjoying that. Ida is loving every minute. It's sumptuous. It's great. And much as I'm a huge fan of the original literature and everything, and yes, I can see where people are getting grumpy about it. Just watch it. It's brilliant. Just suspend your disbelief and just enjoy it. It's fantastic.
Ignore the fact that thousands of years should be going by.
Exactly.
Instead of a week.
Yeah, exactly. It's like banged on, But it's just so nice just to have such gorgeous fantasy again. Because Lord of the Rings brought something completely new to the sweepingness of the cinematography. It really did just use New Zealand as its backdrop, and it just has that same feeling. There's a couple of characters that you don't really sort of seem to want to get behind yet, but they're obviously playing the long game. And then obviously House of the Dragon, we're watching that, and just so finally came in from outside, because every time you've asked me what I've watched, I've gone lately, but now we're back in from the garden. We're now watching everything. And the Pentaveret as well. There you go.
Adam, can I just add something to something you mentioned a minute ago?
Yes.
You did say that there were diaries for sale that were of the wrong year.
Yes.
Well, it only takes 400 years for that diary to become accurate.
Oh, that's handy then.
So it's definitely still worth buying.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, thanks for that tip, Ben.
That's all right. Do you want to know what I've watched on telly in the last month?
No, because I remembered what I've watched.
Oh, well, I was going to tell you what I watched first, because I've already started.
Well, I'm done, if that's any help.
Well, we knew you were done because I'd started talking.
Yeah.
So I've been watching lots of football, lots of cricket. This weekend, lots of tennis. The Labour Cup's been very good, and the World Double Snooker's been slightly entertaining. We've been watching a film, which we're halfway through, which I'm going to go and watch the second half of after we've done this, called Moonfall, which is on Amazon, which is okay so far.
I reviewed that last year.
The two biggest things that I've watched in the last month are undoubtedly the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert, the drummer from the Foo Fighters who died 6 months ago today. That made me cry a lot. And something that made me cry, actually, before I do the next thing, I do the next thing. We watched, obviously, the funeral and everything around the Queen, which was just phenomenal.
It was amazing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, God, I mean, this isn't the time or place to say what a wonderful lady she was and how fantastic.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, because it's a Doctor Who podcast and it's irrelevant to someone who's listening in 2 years' time. But everyone knows that. And she was fantastic. And the funeral procession itself was brilliant. But also, the one programme we watched last week, which was amazing, was called Investigating Diana, which was all about Princess Diana's car crash in 1997 in that tunnel in France. And as somebody who has been a massive conspiracy theorist since the day that happened, that programme pointed out and went through every single conspiracy theory that had ever been mentioned and poo-pooed it. And it turns out that, as I said, as the biggest conspiracy theorist you will ever get on that accident, it was an accident.
It was
just a car accident.
Yes.
And the worst thing about it is as everybody or most people know, if Princess Diana had been wearing a seatbelt, chances are she'd have survived.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that was apart from the fact that, it made me think, okay, it was just an accident. And that was quite amazing. But yes.
The driver was drunk, though, right?
No, he wasn't.
Was he not?
No.
No.
Really?
No, he wasn't drunk. No, she wasn't pregnant. They weren't getting engaged. It was literally
interesting.
The
I'll
white.
have to find that.
Yeah, do. It was on Channel 4.
There's been some really good documentaries again, hasn't there?
But it's also on YouTube. The whole thing's on YouTube, Kirby.
Netflix has been doing quite a few as well.
Just to interrupt, the one of the documentaries about Her Majesty the Queen that was on one of the streaming things, I can't remember if it was Sky, they showed the initial announcement of her passing, and there was a report from another person who was saying, yes, well, they were saying that just a side injury and a couple of broken ribs won't be a major. Well, can I interrupt you there? We're just hearing news from an independent source that Princess Diana has died. So in between, from going from one that it was always she's going to be all right, it's only a little car crash.
Well, that's called so I can find it on YouTube.
Now, interestingly, it's called Investigating Diana. But anyway, interestingly, with when Princess Diana died, royal protocol was adhered to, and they faded to black. They came back up on the TV screen. They said, "We've been informed, Princess. It's been confirmed that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been killed in a car accident." And then they played the national anthem, and that was what was meant to happen when the Queen died, but they didn't do it.
I don't see it.
No, I think it was. There was a few things that didn't quite go right. And you're talking about conspiracy theorism. There's always something, isn't there? The conspiracy theory for the Queen was that she wasn't in the coffin. What would be the point?
Who would even think that, apart from dickheads?
Yeah. What would be the point? Where are they going to put her? What's the point of her not being in the coffin? I mean, what?
Because it wasn't an open casket. No, you're all right. Thank you very much. Seriously.
I wondered about it not being an open casket, because I would think that people would want to see her.
We don't really
I'd like to remember as she was.
No, we don't do that.
That smile.
We do private viewings of the body for immediate family, but we don't have caskets, open caskets.
I really don't think. I mean, the king was clearly in tears during that coffin going by. He would not be in tears if there was an empty box with the flag going by. I'm sorry, it's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway,
of course,
sorry, Ben, carry on.
But,
Ben, I can't find it unless it's called something else.
Maybe it's not available. It's a Channel 4 program, wasn't it?
Question. What do you think the future will be like with Charles as your king?
Absolutely fine for the moment.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. It's just not the same.
I mean,
unfortunately, the monarchy don't make as much of a difference as say they did pre,
Henry VIII.
Yeah. Parliament got more and more involved throughout his tenure, and it's basically if Charles is still very much our figurehead and a monarch, but it isn't. It's government all the way.
The thing about the king or the queen, it's a constant, whereas the government politicians are not. The king and all the queen are a servant to the country, and their job is to be that figurehead, without deviating to one side of politics or the other. Somebody you could always go to for a constant, for someone to go and make friends with another nation. There's no political underscorings or anything like that. They're basically the father or mother of the nation. They're our sort of somebody to look up to, really.
And that's exactly why when the press come to give her, her. Sorry, go on, Mary.
I'm sorry. Do you think that he will keep his own? He's been very active.
Yeah, he's not allowed to now. He's already said that he's...
As a monarch, with his weekly meetings with the Prime Minister, do you think he will...
He will put in an opinion, and that will be between him and the Prime Minister. That's as far as it goes. He's allowed to... That's always... The monarch's always been allowed to voice their opinion and give advice to the Prime Minister. And sometimes Prime Ministers have been swayed by the advice of the monarch, but subsequently the Prime Minister must be candid with the King or Queen and vice versa. But I'm sure that the Queen has had several goes at several Egypts that we happen to have as Prime Minister over the years. So there you go.
Several.
Anyway, I think, as I mentioned on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, just after our dear Queen died, that when the press comes or whoever comes to give her her moniker, her name, so Alfred
Elizabeth the Great,
etc.
Elizabeth
No. Elizabeth the Constant.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one, Ben. Is that what they're going to do?
Elizabeth the Constant. They were all discussing it as that's possibly what she's going to be, isn't it?
Well, no, Boris Johnson was saying she should be Elizabeth the Great, which is just like, nice work, Boris. See you later. My one is a much better idea. And if you have a look as to when I posted it on Facebook, it's before anybody started mentioning it in the press. So it's my idea, and I should be credited for it.
Yes, I think you should too. I like that.
Well, I saw it from your post, so yeah, all right then.
Either
there
one
you
will
go
do
then.
for me.
So I should, if it happens, I need to be credited with several million pounds. £7 million is fine. I'll go with 7. Yeah, that's good a number. That's a good number.
Apparently,
it's yours.
Apparently, His Majesty the King doesn't want to wear the crown after he's been crowned with it, so it might be a crown up for grabs. You could have.
Check eBay in a couple of months' time.
Ben, I found it. I've downloaded it.
Thank you for that.
Investigating Diana Death in Paris. Really good. Anyway, that's everything I watched. And God bless the Queen, even though I don't believe in God. So Eric bless the Queen, because she was phenomenal.
She was indeed. Anyway, thank you. I can remember what I watched now to a certain degree. Like I say, I was going to mention 2 weeks of watching extremely moving stuff on the telly in regards to Her Majesty the Queen's death and funeral. I mean, everything was setting me off. I've never grizzled so much about a person I've never met before.
Oh, I have, to Diana. God,
that was quite sad. I don't remember actually grizzling, but with Her Majesty, right? So she's passed on. Obviously, everybody went home thinking, right, something's going to happen here because the royal family's been called to Balmoral. Something's happening here, and it went a bit quiet for a bit. So we
didn't it? Everyone's going, "Is anybody hurt? Is anybody hurt?"
We flicked to another channel, and then I heard this down the stairs. Isabella, she's dead. She's dead. I said, have a bit of decorum, for goodness sake, and switched it on. So I missed all the initial announcements, but then they were replayed later. And the one that got me was Andrew Marr's announcement on the radio. He couldn't say the words without breaking down on air. And Andrew Marr's a stalwart, blimmin' broadcaster, and that set me off. And then they showed Hugh, what's his name? It was on Doctor
Hugh Edwards.
Yeah, here's one. He had to pause. He had to pause and conserve himself, before making the announcement. And then you saw obviously the scenes and everybody paying all these tributes, people like Nicola Sturgeon, and I know she's not an anti-royalist, but she was so respectful. All this stuff was setting me off. Even Truss and her announcement, God Save the King, stuff like that. It was just constant emotional stuff going on. The people trooping past the coffin, saluting, bowing, crying. It was just so emotional.
Adam, did you hear cows singing God Save the Queen?
Cows?
Every pub started singing it that night.
No, I was at work, I think. I can't remember.
It just went everywhere. You could hear it echoing across the bay. It was really weird.
I know. Isn't that just the weirdest thing about all of this? Is the fact that for all of my life, all of your life, in fact, and this is one of the most incredible stats I've heard about it, 96% of the people who are alive on planet Earth today have only ever known Elizabeth II as the Queen.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
And the testament to her and the sort of person she was, and she had made that thing when she was 21 that she would serve us for as long as she was able to do so. And there she was 2 days before she died, still doing her job.
Letting Liz transform a government.
And there's a picture in one of the papers the other day of the king with his red box, and he looks like he's scratching his head. Oh my God, how am I going to get through all this stuff?
Did you see how it was all laid out for the photo, like all propped up in the box, or like a gift box? It was like, here you go, Your Majesty, your first one.
I feel privileged to have been a subject of this incredible woman, which showed my daughter met. I was working again, missed out the opportunity. Deb filmed. I did see her at a long distance at one of the cenotaph things from Remembrance Sunday back in the 80s. But it was always a case that whenever everything was a bit down, you just look at the Queen's smile and it just warmed your heart a little bit. She was just an absolutely magical lady. And back to what I watched this week.
Hold on.
You watched this week, Adam.
The best picture, the best thing that I've got from the Queen dying is, that picture of when she's walking past Prince Philip.
Oh, when she's giggling at him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've got that printed out.
God, yeah.
It's printed out and it's above in a lovely frame above my door of my studio now.
I
so every
love
time I
that,
come in,
yeah.
I love that photo. And do you know what? When I showed it to my dad on my phone, it's the first time in he's 80 this year. It's the first time I've ever seen my dad nearly break down because of that photo.
Can you send it to me, please, Ben? I don't want to cry. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
It's so cheeky.
But that was her, wasn't it? What a woman. Anyway, right. So what I watched is we've been watching. Eventually, we have to get back to it. Welcome to Wrexham, obviously with Ryan Reynolds' takeover Wrexham Football Club. We've stopped that because there's so much other stuff on, like that stuff we always watch. Sadly, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that it's a series called Married at First Sight UK. She-Hulk is still. We're up to episode 5 of that. I quite enjoy it, but I've heard people saying it's a bit silly. But I quite enjoy it. I've got through Orville. I'm really, really hoping that's not the end of it.
I wish I could fly.
Not that Orville. I really hope
Every
that
time you say that, that's all I can think of is a big green bird.
Had I watched Bullet Train by the last time we spoke?
Don't think so.
That was quite a good film. On the same sort of ilk as Deadpool. And I think there's a certain cameo in there you might want to watch as well if you keep your eyes open. That's the last thing we saw in the cinema, and we really enjoyed that.
Who sings
quite
Word
violent.
Up?
Pardon?
Bloke who sings Word Up.
Word Up? What are you on about?
You said an interesting cameo.
Oh God, shut up. I was watching Blown Away, which is a series about glass blowing on Netflix, but I've stopped that because there's so much other stuff on at the moment. Strictly's back. Oh my God, love Strictly.
I watch that, Blown Away. I'll have to look that up again.
So they're up to the 3rd series now, so you've got a lot to catch up with. They're only half-an-hour episodes. On Discovery, there's a plethora of stuff I like on there. There's the great series where there's a doctor in America that used to encourage people to have abortions and stuff in his clinic. Then he'd take the babies still alive and give them away as sell them, in fact, to people. I can't remember, he had a doctor somebody or other. Anyway, so it was 200 babies that he sold for $1,000 each throughout this sort of period of time he was doing it. And they obviously with DNA and stuff, they've all found that they're not related to their actual families, and they can trace their their existence back to this clinic. So yeah, it was a brilliant 6-part series. It was fascinating they're investigating, this bloke, and they even exhume his body at some stage, and it's incredible. So if I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to try and find out for you, because it's worth watching. It's on Discovery Plus, and it's run by the presenters of the series Long Lost Family US.
Why are they exhuming his body?
They exhume his body because some of the people who are trying to find out who they are want to find out if they're actually his kids. So they have to exhume his body to get his DNA for that particular purpose, according to the people in the series. But I'm just going to try and find the title for it. Bear with. This is good podcasting, isn't it? So I have to scroll into my ads.
Well, I've been watching the Netflix documentaries about the polygamous fundamental Latter-day Saints,
Oh, I haven't watched that one.
Yeah, and been watching. There's a really cool documentary about that I watched. Really enjoyed that.
Deb, I like that series Murder on CCTV. I have mentioned on the show. There's a new series of that out at the moment, but there's also another one called Crimes Gone Viral, which is on Discovery Plus. And the thing I like about that one is that they show these crimes caught on CCTV, and I've got up to episode 10 and no one's died yet. All it shows is people being exceptionally brave or exceptionally lucky, but it's a really good series.
No one's dead yet.
I've been watching lots of Running with Bear Grylls on National Geographic.
Right, so that one's Crimes Gone Viral. Taken at Birth, that's the one. That's the one where they investigate this. Let's see if I've got his name on the blurb. Dr. Hicks, there we go. It says in the 50s and 60s, Dr. Hicks sold hundreds of babies, and now they're all grown up and they want to know what the hell's going to happen to their birth and stuff like that. So that's a really, really good series. And of course, there's other things on there I love, like I Am Homicide and Jackass. I haven't watched that yet. Jackass Series 2.0. There's Caught in the Net, Love, Honor, Betray, American Detective. Oh God, the Faking It. There's so much stuff on there. Oh yeah, and The Blowing Up History, which is a really good series too. So I've been watching all that stuff, so I haven't really watched an awful lot of drama stuff. But obviously, when we get together as a family, we tend to watch things like I say Strictly is a great family thing. We'll get together and watch that, but we can't yet because I'm still doing weddings. But I'm so pleased to have that back because we love it. Love Strictly. Sorry, I know it's a bit of a car crash program.
And if you've been doing a lot of weddings lately, in recent weeks you've done at least 4 weddings and a funeral.
Kirby, what have you been watching?
Me? I had to really sit down and think about this because it's been so long since we got together.
Have you watched any of the director's cuts of the Star Trek films that have been rejiggled?
No. I mentioned that I finally got around to watching The Fifth Element?
Yes, did, yeah.
Okay, so that tells me where we've stopped. Well, obviously I've been watching a lot of Queen stuff, and even I have a Queen story.
Oh, yes.
In 1984, I was living in Lexington.
You met Freddie Mercury.
Come on, we're being serious here.
Ooh.
Back off it.
In 1984, I was living in Lexington, Kentucky, and you know that she was very much into her horses. She came to visit Lexington and went to the local racetrack, which is an interesting racetrack, by the way, because they have no public address system. At least at the time in 1984. So you watch the races without someone going Beetle Bomb, saying the names of the horses. Anyway, she came to check on her horses, and she also visited the racetrack. I was able to get about 15 feet away from her. It was really nice to actually see her.
Excellent.
Okay, things I've been watching. A lot of background stuff when my oldest daughter is in the kitchen. She is watching the IT Crowd on repeat. So I've been laughing my head off at those things again. And the other day, my wife was actually in the kitchen at the same time and saw her first episode of the IT Crowd. And I think she's going to start watching it. Let's see, I've completely caught up on Rings of Power.
I haven't watched that at all.
It is great. Absolutely great. Although my biggest beef is that all these things took place over thousands of years. So, I almost have...
Lord of the Rings films, though. It's supposed to happen like years and years after he's left the ring, and 17 years pass. It's like, no, it's about 2 days.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me though. I like what they've done.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It really is good.
And I'm really curious about the Stranger.
Oh, it's Sauron, for goodness sake.
It could be, but they could also be introducing Gandalf.
The name of the actor, when we paused it, the name of the actor came up. I searched it on Facebook, and it says IMDb, Sauron, played by...
No, anyone can edit IMDb, so you can't use that.
It's Sauron.
So, other things I've been watching, was just last night, oldest daughter and I watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind. She hadn't seen it for like 30 years.
I love that film.
No, actually, it's not 30 years because she's not 30. She hadn't seen it for about 20 years, and enjoyed that, but it doesn't really age well. The other day, I was just scrolling through what I had digital copies of, and ran across a movie from 1983 that George Lucas produced. It's an animated film called Twice Upon a Time. And it's it's a fun little film. It's stop motion / cutout animation combined with live action. It's fun. And then, as I pointed out on Facebook this morning, I did not know that they made a Princess Bride remake on cell phones during the first few months of the pandemic. And I haven't watched it all yet, but what I've seen is hilarious. And it's got real names, people that you would recognize. Chris Pine, the guy, the actual actor who played.
I saw you comments about this today, didn't you?
It's hilarious,
Yeah.
and it is on you.
Temkin?
Huh?
Are you talking Andy Temkin?
No, he's not in it, unfortunately. The actor who plays the Mandalorian is in it.
Yes.
So that's fun. I'll probably be watching that tonight. That's all I've got in the list, but other things that happened the last 2 weeks that I'll just bring up here is 2 weeks ago I snuck into Dragon Con. Yes, I actually snuck in. So, they weren't checking badges as early as I got there. So.
Naughty beggar.
Well, it's made me decide that I'm definitely going to pay next time.
Wow, good.
This was just a free preview, huh?
Yes, this is my free preview. Well, I had made arrangements to meet another podcaster for lunch, a guy who does a comedy podcast. He's also on a lot of Disney theme parks podcasts. I've known of him since 1985. Since 2005, basically he's one of the first podcasters. And I've actually been at conventions where he was at, World Science Fiction conventions, since the 80s. We can see on lists of attendees that we were at the same convention together. So I made arrangements to go down there and meet him for lunch, and discovered that I could find my way into the main hotel. And I was also there to take 360 video of the parade, and that was fun. And I posted that on my YouTube. And you don't need a 3D viewer, you don't need a VR thing to see it in 360.
Splendid.
And then last week, I visited the Starcourt Mall.
Oh, is that
Stranger Things.
Oh, really? We got a Stranger Things experience in London somewhere.
No, I visited the actual filming.
The actual filming location.
Filming location.
Facebook posts. I was following that.
Yeah, go look
I've
at my
been busy,
Facebook.
Debbie.
What happened was every year there's this thing called Japan Fest, and I get free tickets because I work for a Japanese company that has big things in Georgia. The world's largest zipper manufacturing plant is here in Georgia. I work for the company YKK. And if you find a nearby zipper, and you'll see these mysterious little letters on it, YKK, we made it. So got free tickets to go to Japan Fest, spent 2 or 3 hours in an extremely crowded thing. Oh, do not ever do fully electronic tickets unless you've got an alternate way of doing the tickets. You're supposed to bring up the barcode in the app, and the app was only working for half the people. And they didn't have it. They did have a way of bringing up a web page where you could see the barcode.
Marvelous.
Or just take a picture of it. This is what I did. I just made photos.
No, I couldn't open the app to get to the barcode. Half the people couldn't. So you can't take a picture of it.
Well, there you go.
So that was about 5 miles from the dead mall that they filmed Stranger Things season 3. That was Starcourt Mall, and you can still see lots of remnants of the filming.
Well, they're going to be filming again soon, aren't they? Because they're going to film again soon. They're doing the final series soon.
Yeah, but I don't think Starcourt Mall is not going to be part of it.
Oh, okay. So you've got that to yourself.
Anyway, they're right next to Starcourt Mall, or actually it's called Gwinnett Place Mall. They took one of the anchor stores and turned it into a gigantic Korean grocery that we go to about 3 times a year, because I've got Chinese kids and they like Asian food, and it's one of the best places to get stuff, and it's directly connected. And since I had not seen Stranger Things. I've been there several times and did not know of the connection. So I took several pictures, and you'll see them on my Facebook, and I also posted some in the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who Podcast Facebook group,
Kirby.
which you can join.
I'm glad you finally eventually got an appreciation for Stranger Things. It's about bloody...
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Take a look at the pictures, Adam.
No.
Why?
He will.
What I need to... I realize I haven't posted all the pictures, so I'll just make an album of them and post a link to that.
So you've realised it's good then?
Stranger Things? Yes, we've discussed that months ago. Where have you been?
Anything else?
Nope.
I'm looking at your pictures. They're fab. Right then. There's some things I watched. I just remembered. We watched a film called Father Stew. That's me and Deb watched that film with my cousin Mark Wahlberg in it. We have also watched Caught Red-Handed. It's a daytime crime program on BBC One. Well, I watched it anyway. Fecal Fortunes, a program where people have some stashed art in their possession, and they discover whether it's actually really by that artist or not. If it's really by the artist, it's worth thousands, sometimes millions of pounds. If it's not, then it's only worth a few quid. But it is quite a good series. There's a series called Mind Over Murder, where this old lady was killed and raped actually in her own flat, or apartment as they call it in America, and in a place called Beatrice, because Americans can't speak properly. It's Beatrice, but they call it Beatrice. Anyway, it's quite an interesting series where they've actually got the murderers, and then they, after 25 years or so, find that there was DNA that proved they weren't the murderers, but they still think afterwards they're the murderers. It's very interesting. Yes, Kirby.
I say it the way you say it. I've never heard anyone say it.
Well, if you watch the program, they call it Beatrice actually in the town itself.
Well, they're wrong, or maybe that's local way of pronouncing it, because like there's
true.
A town.
That is true. I accept this. It's wrong though.
When I lived in Kentucky in Lexington, there was a nearby town that everyone pronounced Versailles.
Oh yeah, you said about this, yeah. Anyway, the other thing I've been watching is The Voice UK, and I do love the earlier rounds of The Voice.
I can talk. I thought Arkansas was pronounced Arkansas for ages.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
I think it is if you're in Oklahoma.
We were talking about it earlier. We were just
I think it's
Arkansas River.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think it's well beyond the time that we should be listening to Mary's dulcet tones. Hey, Ben.
True.
So tell us what she's watched this week, and what she's listened to in a Mustang, and also what was read in the world of Mary Blitzlang. And when it comes to Big Finish, she's the leader of the gang. So shut your mouth, pray silence hears Mary Blitzlang.
Well, since we are basically out of time, I will just hit on a couple of things that I've been doing. One is listening to a Big Finish recent release called Second Doctor Beyond War Games. And it's very interesting because it poses the question of what happened to the Second Doctor after, the Time Lords put him in that twirly dissipating thing that he was put in, because then the next series starts with the Third Doctor. So this picks up with him in that thing that they put him in, and becoming very disoriented, and everything about him seems to fall apart. But then he realizes when it's all over that he's still conscious, he's still there. And yet the world is just like a swirl of darkness, and that he doesn't know where he is. So it's a great story that as he slowly discovers where he is, and he hears a mysterious voice telling him, what he should be doing. And it turns out that it is someone from the Celestial, Celestial
Intervention Agency.
Intervention Agency, thank you. That is giving him a chance to kind of not reinvent, but because he was so bad and he's being punished, now he can maybe win his way back. And so this mysterious voice is a Time Lord that is kind of guiding him. So he has to do some different tasks for this Time Lord in order to, be able to come back and be who he could possibly be. So it's a box set of, this is 2 stories, and they're basically pretty long ones. The first one involves Daleks, and the second one involves Ice Warriors. So it's a really good box set, and it's a very interesting concept, and it opens up a whole new area of stories that we will probably be getting now, of the Doctor beyond War Games, as he works his way, I don't know, we think back or works his way towards being the 3rd Doctor. We don't know it yet at this point. So that's really fun, and I do recommend it. The only other thing that I'll mention is that I recently got the latest volume of what is now a 9-volume series called, it's the Outlander Series. The woman who writes these books, she really does her research. And
they're very detailed, aren't they?
Oh my gosh. And I don't know how to put it, but when you're reading her books, you do trust that you are reading about a real era in time that the main character does travel to. And right now we are in the American War of Independence. So it's the kind of thing that you really can sink into and get lost in, is reading her books. They're all several inches thick. And
yes, they are, like Hilary Mantel's stuff, yeah.
Once you start one, it's kind of like, oh my, you're just in a whole other world, and it's wonderful, and it's why I love to read. So yeah, and Deb, you said you have the first volume that you haven't.
I've been into them. I've got them onto the 4th one now.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, after you spoke about it last time.
Okay. And it is also a series that they have been filming, and I think they're on the 6th season of it. It shows here on a service called Stars. I don't know if it's available.
Yeah, it's Star as well here, yeah.
Well, they're doing a really good job with it. Of course, they have to leave a ton of stuff out, but they're following the main storylines really well. And I think I've already told this story about how the author named her main character. It's a favorite story that Fraser Hines likes to tell. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
No, that's what you were talking about last time we were together.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that made me read them.
So she's a Doctor
Andrew
Who
Marr
fan.
and with
Sorry.
Me, Andrew Marr, and with Sheila Fogarty on LBC after a day.
Sorry.
Tell Andrew Marr to leave us alone.
Sorry,
God's
Andrew.
sake, get his own podcast.
So those are the 2 main things that have been occupying me, other than following baseball, and I've been watching the new Shetland series on BritBox. Love Shetland. So that's it. That's all I'll talk about.
Thank you. I don't know if this was the actual thing I was referring to earlier.
Me, Andrew Marr, and with Sheila Fogarty on LBC after a day when, hour after hour, in a sense, nothing has happened and everything has happened. It began with the news percolating through the House of Commons in a rather unsettling way that the Queen was ill, that she was being looked after by her doctors but was comfortable. And a day after I said nothing has happened, it has now, because I have to interrupt the programme to tell you that Buckingham Palace has confirmed that the Queen has died. She was...
Yeah. Anyway, that'll leave everybody with a lump in their throat, won't it? But that gets me every time.
I am now crying.
Sorry.
Thank you, Adam.
It's one of the most moving things I've heard throughout the whole thing. But anyway, so thanks Mary, by the way. Next week, next time. I always say next time because I never know what's going to happen in my life. It's always a bit.
How likely is it going to be
next time? Is always great. That's a great way of signing off.
Beg pardon?
How likely is it going to be next week, though?
Well, I'm not going to be on next week. I'm away.
No, you're bloody well not. You have to cancel that straight away. Right, so next week.
No, I'm bloody well not.
Well, I've got a theatre train promo to film on the 1st, but nothing on the 2nd of October. So I'm gonna guess. I don't like to hedge my bets, but I'm going to guess that I will be available. And if so, we will be recording a tribute to Vincent and the Doctor. No,
I will endeavour to leave some feedback on this because.
Wait! We forgot to read Robert's.
Oh, I didn't know Robert had left anything. You can do that then, Kirby.
I'll have to find it. Hang on.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, at least someone remembered.
Oh, yes, well done, Kirby. You get a ding for that.
Okay, she's got it.
Okay, here we go. I've got sleep. I can hardly keep my eyes open. Sorry, I'm so sorry. From Robert. My feedback, though. I dressed for Rio. It's one of Chibber's stories, so it's Chibber crap. It seems to try to riff off the Damons at the start, the isolated area and a barrier, or even a bit of inferno, what with drilling and something bad happening. It also deals with the themes along the lines of the Silurians, so it's all very derivative. Obviously, you can tell who the extras were. They didn't have to undergo the intensive makeup and hence wore masks to cover up the fact. While the makeup prosthesis effect is good, I don't like that they went so far away from the looks that went before. Some nice music touches. The horns remind me of Planet of the Apes, which I'm sure was intentional, and I'd quite forgotten Rory's death. Spoilers, but he comes back. Maybe that's why I'd forgotten, because you see him later. Oh, and Amy fell down to the ground. But she got back up again, but she's forgotten Rory. A shame we had to endure more chibber crap later on, though. He's trying to coin that as a phrase. By the way, do you think Nazreen would have made a good companion? I do like the Doctor with an older female companion. Big Finish did it so well with the 6th Doctor and Evelyn Smith. Hope to enjoy you next time.
Do you know what? You're talking about the potential for that, what's the name? Is it Nazreen, I think. Is that what he said? The character's name?
Nazreen, yeah.
Whether she would have been a good companion or not. I think she would have been a companion on the same sort of ilk as Catherine Tate was for the 10th Doctor. Someone's filing through some paperwork.
But I don't think she has Catherine Tate's comedy timing.
Oh, I think she does. That was her prime sort of acting comedy. She started out in a comedy sketch show, like Catherine did.
Was that meant to be comedy?
Goodness gracious me, there was some legendary sketges in Goodness gracious me.
It was on the radio first as well, on Radio 4 at 6:30.
Especially the English restaurant one. That was my favourite.
I'll have your most bland.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, sorry Ben, you were about to say something.
Loads of that. Made me laugh loads, that TV programme.
That means it didn't, obviously.
Yeah, never found
What
it
a
funny.
surprise.
Anyway, look, I'm going if you like.
So am I, actually, funny enough. I was just about to sign off.
At the same time, then. Go and sign off and we can all go.
Thank you, Ben. I've got stuff to do. So anyway, thanks you to everybody for sort of humouring us for being away for the longest time we've ever been off air. And
not that it matters because it's a podcast, so people listen to it when they want to listen.
Willie and Robin has been giving me grief for the last 2 hours, and she still says that. She said quite a lot actually.
I thought we were signing off.
I was signing off, but people have been saying stuff. Oh, yes, she says, Debbie, we established before that we were the same age, and Terry Miles says...
I have memory like a sieve, I do apologise.
The adverts were great adverts for the con. Billy Kirkbright says, go on. He says hello, Kirby. Can you do that one?
No.
Pardon?
Hello, Kirby.
Hello. Hello. Oh, I don't know. I can't even do it myself. And then he says, it was a wonderful story. I think he's being sarcastic.
Story.
So until next time, thank you for listening, watching, taking part in the show. Stop and talk over my goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Scarecrow.
The Doctor going down in the dirt with Amy.
20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production sponsored by whowon.co.uk, lavazi.co.uk. We are a proud member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended.